Hello, my stamping friends. My name is Holly Peterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and today I'm here to show you how to make this cute diagonal easel card using the Countryside Birdhouse bundle. There was a lot of pieces to this. I just did this for a class in March, but the gals really liked how it turned out, and it comes with the stamps and the die. And I used mostly the dies on this project. I also used a couple of embossing folders. I used the dotted circles and the timber 3D embossing folders. And I used the textured notes dies. I love these rectangles, all these different textures in there. Plus the mixed labels dies for this little guy to anchor our easel against. Okay, I've got all the measurements for you. I'm going to just set this over here. And there's a lot of little pieces to this one today. So we have Misty Moonlight. It's 8.5 by 5.5. You score it in half at 4 1/4, and then diagonally from the top right corner to the bottom left where the score is. We have Misty Moonlight, 4 1/4 by 5.5, and it's cut with the textured notes dies. I have Basic Beige, 4 by 5 1/4. I have Basic Beige, 3 by 4 1/4, and this is embossed with the dotted circles in embossing folder. We have Petal Pink, that's 2 by 2. I'm going to just set those leaves up there. Basic Gray, 2.5 by 3 1/4, and you get the gray peak and the bottom of the birdhouse with that piece. Smoky Slate, 1.5 by 2 for all of the little leaves. You need a scrap of Misty Moonlight for your label. Early Espresso, 1 by 1.5. The Country Woods designer paper, 3.5 by 4 1/4, and that's what we cut the little house out of. Oh, I guess I have 2 houses. And then Pool Party, 3 by 2 to cut all of our little flowers. We'll start by folding this. I like to reinforce my score lines with my bone folder. This makes the card lay nicer. Now this fold we need to go in. So we'll just, and I'm not going to do that one really hard because eventually it will lay flat, but there's our easel for our card. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside first. And on this one, I'm using only Misty Moonlight ink. And we're going to, I put 2 of the stamps together. Hoping you have the best day ever and happy birthday. 2 separate stamps on the same block. And we'll just stamp that right up here. And then to add a little bit of interest to the card, I have a blending brush, and I'm using one of the small ones. You could use the big one or the small one. I'm going to get some ink, and I like to start off on my paper, and we're going to just go lightly around the edges of the inside layer. Okay, that looks pretty good there. While I have the ink out, we're gonna sponge one more layer. The layer that we embossed with the circles, we're gonna just lightly go over that with the Misty Moonlight ink as well. Just like that. Now it's just assembly. Get rid of this. This gets adhered to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 Misty Moonlight. And since this has embossing on it, I'm going to use my liquid glue for this layer. And then we're going to just center it on this layer here. And then this can be adhered to the front of the card. And it's going to be centered, but we only want to put adhesive on this bottom right corner. Otherwise your easel won't come up. And I'm just centering that. Perfect. And if you needed to add a little more, we could go in here and add a little bit of liquid glue there too. Okay, we'll set that aside. I'm going to grab a silicone mat, and I'm going to take our birdhouse and this gray piece we're just going to add to the top. Again, I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on there. And just line it up with the edge of the top of the birdhouse, like that. And then the Petal Pink layer, we're going to add some adhesive. You could have used adhesive sheets on these. I opted not to do that, but it certainly would have been easier. We'll just nestle that right up against our gray trim. Now the little hole for the birdhouse, it cuts this little hole, and then a separate die cuts that one. On my original card, I put this little hole on top, but I think if I put it on the back, it will look more like it's inside the house. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive around the edge of that hole. we'll set that aside for a minute, let some of that dry. We'll take our perch, or the bottom part of our embossing folder, and again, I used the wood, made this look like a piece of wood. We'll put that at the bottom of our birdhouse. And then we're going to use some glue dots. And I'm using one with the more pointed petals. And we're going to just put that up here at the top of the house. And one of these little ones. I think it's easier sometimes to pick those off of the glue dot off with take your pick tool. So we'll do that, and then we will do this double leaf. And I should have put that on first. We're just going to maybe I snipped that off. We'll snip that off a little bit. And then we can tuck it underneath. Like that. And then down at the bottom, I used one of these flowers. I think I need to snip all these little stems off. I'm going to put another glue dot there. To hold those together. And we're going to just stick that down here. And then this one, and then this little one, we'll put this last little leaf on. Grab another glue dot. Okay, this should be good to put on our birdhouse now. I'm just going to use a little glue here. And you can put the hole centered. I kind of liked mine off center, and I think I'm going to just stick it right over there. Then we can bring in our card base. And since this is going on embossed layer, I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue again. And center that on my front. And then for the inside, we'll just go ahead and stick down our layer here. About out of adhesive there. And then however far you want your stopper to go, however far you want your card to stand up when you have it open. I think I like mine about there. So I'm going to put some dimensionals behind this layer. And then we'll put the flowers on flat. I'll just stick those on with some liquid glue here. And I did the big one in the middle, and then these two little ones on the side. And then I didn't want to add any more dimension to the inside of the card. I forgot to grab a couple of things here. So what I did was I have my Smoky Slate Stampin' Write marker, and I just colored the inside of my flowers. And then I put some Wink of Stella on them, just the inside, so that it made it look like we had rhinestones on there. We're going to put some rhinestones on the front of the card. But this way, that keeps those flowers flat, since we already have the dimensionals behind the little label. And then this one, I think I want it to stand up a little bit more. So I'm just going to push my label there, and then it will still lay flat to mail. And then on the front of our card, I'm just going to use some basic rhinestones. And I have some old ones still, so these little ones they were a long strip and I cut them apart. So we'll put these little ones on the little flowers. Well, maybe I cut them apart. And then we'll put a bigger one on the larger flowers. Like that. Once you have all of your little pieces cut, the card actually goes together really fast. So there's our card we did today, and here's my original. Thank you for watching my video today. I greatly appreciate it. If you've liked my video, I ask that you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.